Hello, welcome to another episode of New Gameplay Today. I'm your host, Jeff Cork. Joined today by, we got a big special surprise for you, Leo Vader.
Hey!
How's it going, buddy?
I'm back.
And Matt Bertz.
How you doing?
Doing quite well. What are we looking at here?
We're looking at Knife Fight, the video game.
Knife Fight the video, about time.
Yeah, this is actually Hunt Showdown. I think this was our PC game of the show at E3.
Yeah, I feel like I've been reading and writing about this game for years, it seems like. Talk to me about this.
So we got invited to the closed alpha, which was going on, or it is going on right now. So first time that we've had hands-on with the game. And I have to say, it's unlike anything else I've played before.
All right, so it's kind of like a teams of two fighting PvE, then it turns into PvP. Like, how does the flow break down?
Exactly. So, like, the gist of the game is you're a hunter, and your job is to go into this, like, corrupted area and slay this monster, and then bring back its bounty, which is just, like a keepsake.
Yes.
To get a payday. And there's 5 groups of 2 that are in this world at all times, but there's also a bunch of just crazy zombies that are in the world that wouldn't look out of place in, like, Left 4 Dead.
Right.
Or the game kind of, at least this map gives me a big Resident Evil 4 vibe. Mm-hmm. Like it's very brown. You'll see some of the characters have that too. So what you're doing first is you're looking for these clues that we just found right there. And that'll kind of shrink the map in terms of like where that monster is located. You have to find 3 of them before you reveal the location.
Mm-hmm. So that little flickering that we just saw there, that was one of the clues, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And the setting for this is kind of, I don't know, unusual. It's pretty cool. Like, it's like a gothic Wild West thing, right?
Yeah, you have all these really kind of old, crappy guns, that would totally be a terrible option if you were to go in a gunfight right now. Yeah. So the combat moves slowly, you'll notice. You have to refill your weapons, and it's really slow, so you need to be very cautious. That's why you see I have my knife drawn.
Yes.
It's usually better off to just kill zombies with the knives because you got to save your ammo for when you're facing off against humans. So here we are stabbing away. And the other reason that it's important to use your knife is because sound plays a super critical role in this game. Mm-hmm. Whether you're walking past a group of crows on the ground or you're moving past a chicken coop or dogs, as soon as they start barking, it's really loud and it can tip other players off to your location. And obviously a gunshot would do that even more so. Mm-hmm. So you got to kind of play it close to your vest and try to escape through all these dudes and just, knife them to death.
Yeah. So at this point in the game, like in this match, for instance, are you looking out for other players to take them out, or do you kind of not see them as a threat? You're all kind of just, all right, we'll get to you later.
So it has that kind of Division Dark Zone uneasiness about it.
Yeah.
But what I've found in the limited time I've played maybe 6 hours or so. Mm-hmm. Everybody is just going to shoot everybody.
Okay.
I haven't come across anybody that's like, I'll get to you later.
Okay.
So what I've found is interesting is as you get toward the end of the match, I'm seeing less and less people, and then a lot of times as you vanquish the demon and get out of there, there aren't anybody, no one's around.
Oh, okay.
So I'm wondering if they're going to consider upping the player count, because it feels like I'm not encountering nearly as many. And I mean, some of these zombies, that they hit you, they take your life off, but you can bring a health pack, so you're not going to really take too much damage, or it's not going to hurt you in the long run. Mm-hmm. They don't really pose that much of a mortal threat.
Yeah. But players really aren't being incentivized to leave other players alone in the beginning so that there are the big confrontations at the end? Is that
not really? No, there is no. I mean, there is a chance. So you can get out of these maps alive without ever encountering anybody.
Okay.
Like if someone vanquished the demon and took the bounty, you still have time to get out alive. So your character continues to your next round because there is kind of a permadeath element to it.
Okay.
So there is incentive to try to stay alive, but I just haven't found anybody, and maybe it's just the people that are in the closed alpha and they haven't wrapped their brain around, like the end game. Mm-hmm. But there is not a lot of incentive right now. Everybody just wants to shoot other people.
Okay, so you see movement, regardless of what it is, you're going to kill it.
But as you can see, like, we're moving deliberately, slowly through these areas because those gunshots will tip people off. Mm-hmm. And right here, I mean, you don't even need to engage these enemies. If you don't aggro them, you can escape these areas unscathed a lot of times.
Yeah, it seems like that might be a smart thing to do, right? If you're trying to avoid detection from other players, let them deal with them.
Exactly. So I'm just trying to sneak around the corner here and grab this clue. And they look like kind of portals.
Uh-huh.
So for guns and everything, how much of that are you picking up during the match?
The guns you bring into the match, there is ammo around, so if you run out of ammo, you can look on the map and it'll tell you there's ammo supply zones. But for the most part, you're actually buying your guns via a currency, or you're just picking a predetermined recruit. They kind of have a Darkest Dungeon type thing where there are 4 or 5 archetypes you can choose from at the beginning. They change every time you refresh the players that are available to purchase. But for the most part, the guns aren't that expensive in the alpha, so I never was low on cash. I could always buy whatever guns I wanted. So I was kind of wishing they would just let me create my own template and let me just quick buy that all the time.
So there isn't like a persistent element in terms of your weapon loadout. It's just like from session to session, you're buying the same weapons and everything, or are you?
Yeah, there are other stuff. You're going to unlock weapons. There's a general experience pool that will unlock other weapons for purchase.
Okay.
And the thing that makes it valuable to hold on to your character is they have all these traits that you can buy, like more health or the ability to carry more stuff. You know, like they have those kind of like passive boosts that will make your player a little bit more formidable.
Okay.
So what I'm curious, as more people get their hands on this game, are people going to farm better characters, never playing the objective?
Oh yeah.
And then eventually decide to play the objective with their super buffed up guy? I don't know, like, is there a penalty if you're trying to do that? I don't know yet.
Yeah, especially once people are good enough where it's just like, I'm just going to kill all the other players, and that's my initial goal, is not even to worry about finding these clues, and then when I'm the only person left, then I'll just find the monster in my own time.
The maps are big enough, so that each match takes about 20 minutes, but you're kind of being guided toward the area, but you could totally stay at the outskirts of this thing and just farm experience by killing zombies and leave, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, weird.
I don't know why you'd want to do that unless you're kind of playing that long game, but I hope they have safeguards against that.
Yeah, presumably it's someone's hitting you in the back of the head with a hatchet or something, right?
Yeah.
See a camp in there, I hope. So how big are these maps? I don't get a really good sense of it.
This is the one map, and I'd say it's not like a PUBG map, you know, it's more focused than that, but it is pretty open, and there's a lot of different ways to go places, and there are catacombs as well that connect some certain locations.
Okay.
Points of interest, I guess you could say.
And as far as the gunplay goes against other players, what's the level of lethality like? What are we up against here? Is it like a Call of Duty or like a
you're kind of a glass cannon, but your cannon's super inaccurate, if that makes sense. So
okay, yeah.
There's aim down the sights, you know, which you just do with your right mouse button, but you can hold shift, and that will give you more of like an iron sight view as well. It's kind of got a really old school control mechanism that I haven't seen in many years.
Yeah.
But you do feel like, I mean, if you run out of your bullets while you're trying to shoot a guy and he's got some bullets left, you're screwed, because you've got to constantly reload every one bullet at a time for all these weapons. There's no clips.
Okay.
So you got to make your shots count.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it pays to be a little bit more measured in your pacing. You don't want to just run guns blazing unless you're a fantastic shot.
Exactly. Okay.
So here we are. You can see like that map that we just pulled up. We know he's in this area over here, the spider that we're hunting.
Right.
There's a couple different, they also have a butcher, which is kind of this kind of big, weird looking mutated beast. That's the other monster that you can hunt. They're going to be adding more, I think, as the game proceeds from alpha to beta and whatnot. But
now you mentioned the sound design being really important. Does it work with the monsters as well? Like, is that spider kicking around crow's nests and things that you can kind of use to your advantage to locate it?
Usually you find the spider, if you haven't marked it, you don't have the 3 clues, you're going to find it by following the gunfire.
Okay.
Because whoever's fighting the spider or the butcher, they're shooting a ton of bullets, and usually that's not happening.
Okay.
Because people have gotten savvy enough to the point where I'm going to just melee people until I need to use my weapon.
Okay. Is there like a visual indicator to show like that the monster is showing up and someone is engaging it as well? Like
no, there's a vanquish. I'm trying to kill this horse. It didn't work. I mean, it was lame. You're supposed to put down lame horses, right?
Okay.
That was
knife to the head.
Yeah, it didn't work though.
He's just having puddle time.
But the monsters, you will get an indicator once someone has actually killed the monster and they're banishing it. You'll go into that dark vision mode, and you'll see like this big lightning bolt kind of shooting down on a location. So here there's someone in there fighting the spider. You can kind of see it running.
Yeah.
Those things are fast and they're freaky, and they will pounce on you and poison you.
And you're
But we're just playing.
Oh, look at you! You're gonna just ruin that guy's day.
He's dead. No awareness. So this is a strategy. You could just sit out here and let somebody else take all the hits on that monster.
Yep.
Hang out, wait until you don't hear much noise, and then go in there and see if anybody's left. Mm-hmm. But as you can see, like you have to worry about these kind of guys that are around the area too, because they will come after the noise as well.
Okay.
Some of them don't have eyes, but they hear sound, and they'll come. So sound is a critical. I mean, I've never played a game where sound design plays such a critical role in everything that you're doing.
Huh.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's correctly balanced yet. There's a funny moment in a different clip that we're not showing here where we were creeping up on a location where we knew guys were holed up, and we were just using the mic to chat about what our strategy was going to be. My partner was saying, I think they're going to come out of this door. We were, 30 yards, maybe 20 yards away from the building, and they could hear us.
Oh.
And they started talking back to us, and that was like when we learned how big that proximity chat cone was.
Oh, weird.
So I don't know if that's balanced correctly yet, and I also feel like they're overly hyping how close the zombies are to you at any given moment. If you're in the kind of like wooded area, all of a sudden you'll hear like this huge zombie sound, and you realize they're actually nowhere near you.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if they're just doing that to amp the tension, but that feels like it could use some work too.
Yeah.
So here we are. Here's the spider. It's fast. It sneaks up on you. You got to really stay on your toes to fight it.
It's got some stinky poison, looks like.
Yes.
Had that other guy who was here done noticeable damage to the spider?
Yeah, you can see the health meter up top, upper left corner.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've got a couple shots on it at this point, but I think it was already down a little bit.
Nice.
So is that generator something you can interact with?
Yeah, those are kind of like sound things that you can mess with. There's radio player or record players around the world that you can activate to kind of draw enemies into a certain direction.
Now keep in mind, this is alpha.
Yes. You're going to notice some hiccups in.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're banishing.
And at this point, everyone else is getting an alert, like they see the lightning bolt in the sky that's directing to your location, so you need to be very careful about what's going on.
Yeah, and you just notice I had to reload every single bullet one at a time.
Yeah.
It is a tedious reload process that if you're doing it at the wrong time, you're screwed.
Now, is this a game where you've got your partner, if you just peel away from them at the very beginning, you're just done for? Like, that's just a horrible mistake?
Like I was saying earlier, that one of the problems I've had early with the game is I don't feel like human encounters are necessarily frequent. So there's chances are you could just run around the territory and not really run into anybody and be okay until you get to kind of these culmination moments.
I think we skipped ahead here too, because I think this was an example of that happening, right?
Yeah, we did the banishing here and there was no one around the whole time. Everyone, I mean, we've had some encounters where there are more people, but this happened to me probably 4 or 5 times where I expected, people to be barging in, shooting or waiting for us to leave and shooting us as we escape. But no one was here.
Okay. I guess it's tension of a different sort.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm not advocating for them putting, like 15 more people and making it like a free-for-all.
Right.
I like the tension. I like the scarcity of the combat with other people, but maybe a couple more?
Yeah.
2 to 4?
2 to 4.
Just see how it would work. So now we have to find the extraction points, and there's 3 or 4 around the map. And one of the strategies here that you can do is most people will probably try to cover the short route. You can take the long route, but since no one messed with us, we just are going straight for the short route.
Okay.
And they don't know where you are anymore. They have to track you now, right?
Oh, no, they can track the package. The package is highlighted in the dark vision.
Oh, okay.
So you know where the person is running, and there's 2 bounties. You can either have one person carry both, or you can split them up.
Okay. And then if you get killed, someone else can claim that bounty from your body. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is a very boring but viable way to play, like you mentioned earlier. Just staking out the building from a safe distance, waiting for the dude to come out with the bounty, and then...
Yeah, just kind of like PUBG. There are strategies that you can really sit back, kind of let other people do some stuff, and then pounce on them when you feel like they're vulnerable. You can definitely do that in this game.
And you still have access to your weapon and your entire arsenal while you have the package as
Exactly.
well. Okay, that's good.
So there's our carriage, and then once you get to the point, there's an extraction countdown that starts.
Where they're giving people every opportunity to interrupt you.
Yeah, you see the counter went down from 20 to 10. I think that might have been because we had both bounties,
Okay.
I'm guessing. So yeah, that's how a typical mode for me had played out. You know, not a ton of human contact. You can skirt around most of the zombies, but you do get points for killing them.
Okay.
So
do you get points for killing other players also?
Yes.
So maybe if they dial back the incentive there, perhaps people will leave other people alone. That's not going to happen, is it?
No, it's not.
You're going to see another person. You're like, you're going to be a problem eventually. So
yeah, exactly. You know, you're going to deal with them sooner or later. If you have the jump on them, you may as well take it, right?
Exactly.
So here you see the 2 experience bars. You see that my hunter, Miles Cochran, that was his first journey out. So he's going to get a ton of experience.
Okay.
And then you'll see my bloodline rank at the bottom is my permanent boost that I can get, like unlocking, you know, the brass knuckles.
Okay.
So.
And then like there's different like hero characters that have their own special loadouts. And
Yeah, they come with their own pre-built loadout. You
Okay.
can always buy what they don't have, so you have the option to customize the way you want it to go.
Okay.
But you'll watch this Cochrane thing goes up quick because I actually brought home the goods. They call it a grand slam. I think they need to workshop that a little bit. You know, the chicken dinner really caught on. A grand slam, I don't get the baseball reference in, you know, Gothic Europe or wherever we are here.
You know, it could be like a Denny's branded content.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you win and you get like extra $1.99 off your grand slams at Denny's. Yeah, so this is Hunt as it sits right now, and I think this game... I still think it has a lot of potential. I don't think it's quite realized all of it yet, but it's there, and I'm certainly going to keep playing as it spends more time in closed alpha and goes into beta. Here you can see the recruits, so I'm going to repopulate. So now each of these guys kind of has a little bit of a different loadout, and you can see one of the guys, David Ashbury, has a trait there that's kind of underneath his med pack.
See, like, okay. I was just going to ask, he's like a healer type or support.
Yeah, so he's got a syringe that can get rid of poison. And you can see in here you have all these different slots, and some characters may have more slots than others.
Excellent. Well, when is this coming out?
We don't know yet. They're still kind of being coy. You know, it's done when it's done.
Take your time, guys.
I imagine, you know, it's only announced for PC. Given it's running on an engine that's familiar with consoles, I won't be surprised if it comes to consoles.
Yeah.
Eventually, you know, this is using CryEngine. And it's Crytek. It's some of the guys that made the Crysis games. So they certainly know game design.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Bertz. And thank you, Leo.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching. Bye.
So, we want to... They're going to head for Catfish Grove, which is to our east. So
Where are we gonna head? I can't hear you, bro. You might want to let us know where we're gonna head, because we're gonna go the opposite way now. Thanks for the information, bud.
Those guys are assholes. The listening distance is way too long.